elbow flexion extension. So for this one, you're going to kind of support above the elbow. The other arm's going to come here. You do want to make sure you can get the arm all the way straight, okay? So you don't necessarily want to be here, or you could put something under the elbow. I tend to just hold, bring them out to the side a little bit, okay? That way, if she has some hyperextension of the elbow, it could come over the top, okay? And you're just going to bend that elbow up, bring it back down, okay? You don't have to shift around, do any kind of crazy dances with that, okay? So that's our elbow flexion and extension. Okay, good. We'll let our therapist give it a whirl. Sometimes just for comfort's sake, you can put a little towel kind of under their elbow. Just supports them a little bit, and then that way you don't have to use your arm to support. There we go. So we have her bent up. Again, the wrist is kind of here in a neutral, and you're just going to extend the wrist and flex the wrist. I'm kind of, one hand stabilizing below the wrist and one's above the wrist. And I'm going to extend and flex. Extend and flex. Okay? Questions? Therapist? We'll move on to our hip flexion extension. I'm going to just pull your jeans up a little bit. You're okay.
I didn't shave my leg.
Oh, that's okay. That one was that's plenty. Okay. And I can adjust your pillow now, but we don't have to have that out of the way. Okay. So again, we know that the heaviest part of our leg is probably there in the thigh. Okay. So that's why we need a hand right under here, so we're really supporting the weight of the leg. If all you're doing is moving down here, the patient has no choice but to help you. So you want to have them support under here, okay? And then your other hand is down here to kind of guide. So here's our extension to neutral. And then we're going to lift from underneath the thigh, bend that up, and then my hand comes over top. This is the hand that's giving over pressure, okay, and pushing that knee up towards her belly into hip flexion. And then we're going to quickly get it back underneath so that then we can lower it back. Well, you just pop it back everywhere, don't you? Okay. So we're going to do hip flexion, extension. Okay, notice I'm shifting my weight, using my body, okay, to help. But it basically just comes over the top to give that overpressure, but the rest of the time it's underneath. Overpressure, back underneath to support it as we come down. Okay, so let's. Our next one is hip AB and adduction. Are you okay to have the other leg flat? I know you're back.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So abduction, we're coming out to the side. Adduction, we're just coming back to neutral. Okay. So this is our neutral here. Again, we're going to have one leg under the lower leg to support. Our other leg is here underneath the distal part of the thigh. The toes and the kneecap are just going to stay straight towards the ceiling, okay, so that we're not introducing any kind of rotation one direction or another. And you're going to abduct out to the side, okay, and adduct back to neutral. Abduction, adduction. Okay. We'll let our therapist try. Motion is our knee flexion extension. Do you want that under your arm, or are you okay?
No, I'm good.
Okay. So this looks very similar to hip flexion extension, except your overpressure is a little bit different, okay? Because we're wanting knee flexion. So this is where the bend is, but we don't necessarily care how far it comes up to the belly, okay? But again, we're going to lift from under the distal thigh and then under the lower leg here. We're going to bend up. Now, if I put her shoe on the table, can I push her any further bent? No. Okay, so this has to be off the table, and then I kind of support here, and my overpressure comes from this hand to bend the knee. See how much extra bend I get when I do that? And then again, I get underneath, and I lower back down. So I raise up. Here's my bend, and back down. I raise up. There's my bend. I lower back down. Okay, questions? All right, we'll let our therapist. There you go. So it's just some subtle differences in your hand placement, really. There you go. And our last one, ankle plantar flexion, dorsiflexion. Again, if we have the knee straight when we do our dorsiflexion, it may limit how much motion we have at the joint. If you get this particular one, you need to take their shoes off, or at least one shoe off.
Awesome.
So we get to see your socks. I won't make you take your socks off too, but at least shoe. That way you can actually hold their leg. So we have a slight bend in the knee, and that kind of frees up the stretch in the gastroc so that we can get full motion down here at the ankle. So you can just let your foot relax, okay? There you go. And I'm going to kind of have my hand around the ball of her foot here. I'm going to bring her up into dorsiflexion. Just let me move it. And then down into plantar flexion. Dorsiflexion, plantar flexion. She really wants to help.
Should we put
Just
the
settle down.
washer under the ankle?
What was that?
Should we need to put the washer under the ankle?
No, and I tell you what, it's more that we want the bend in the knee. If we're here, we're getting a stretch. You feel that
yeah.
pull across the back of your leg?
Mhm.
It's up here, we want the stretch, because the gastroc basically goes from above the knee down past below the ankle. If you have both of them straight, you're going to get a stretch of that muscle rather than the full motion at the ankle joint. Last kind of here above the ankle, then this one grabs around the ball of the foot, okay, to bring it up, and then I switch it over top, and then that way I can kind of push down into plantar flexion. So I just kind of alternate my hand from the bottom